Welcome back to Tomorrow's Trades. Bundeep Rangar Singh, Chairman of IndusView, now joins us for giving us his perspective on a lot of developments. Latest developments in the Cairn Vedanta deal, Indian markets. Bundeep, hi, thanks so much for joining in. In light of the recent development, and there has been a lot of to and fro between the two nations, I might also add. How soon do you see the final knot coming by?
That's the million-dollar question, or is that, I guess, the $10 billion question in this case. Really, it depends on how quickly you can resolve the issue of royalty payments. That is the ultimate deal blocker here right now. And the extension by Cairn to May 20th is an indication that this is probably resolvable, but not within the earlier time frame, which is only 4 days away, which would not have been met by government clearance by that time. So we've got another month to go. I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scenes negotiations going on. So I'm reasonably optimistic that given the next month, given the fact that India wants to have a deal in this, the first deal of its size in the oil and gas sector, at a time when FDI, if you know, fell by 22% last year, this is a major deal for them to get secured and announced to the world.
Bundeep, what in your view are the options in front of ONGC now?
Well, the ONGC, and I guess with the backing of the oil ministry there, is either going to have a conditional approval where the royalties are paid by Cairn over a period of time, or it's approved, but then there's a legal dispute that then goes into the arbitration or the courtrooms, because that'll stand as a contingent liability if the deal is approved, but without the resolution of the royalty payments. I don't believe there's anything that's going to block the deal when it comes to the cess arbitration. It's really the royalty payments, and of course linked to that is the no objection certificate that's needed.
The other bit is, and while we've seen to and fro between embassies, or rather politicians of the two nations, how are foreign investors, if at all, reacting to how the government has handled the project?
You're right. There's been, letters from David Cameron's office. Only Dr. Singh has said he'd like to get this resolved soon. The signal to the foreign investor community is one where people and investors know there's a very strong India story. The GDP growth, the corporate growth, the overall macroeconomic story is very compelling. What's the devil in the detail here is, of course, is how easy is it for foreign investors to come in, invest, and exit at the right time. And with the situation involving Vodafone not so long ago, and now here with Cairn, their eyes watching and seeing how this pans out as a signal of how healthy the system is to allow for foreign participation and exits.
Bundeep, what are foreign investors saying in general about the kind of uptick that we've seen in the Indian markets? It's been a smart move that we've seen. Are they now being cautious with regards to fund flow? Because that is clearly not evident. Money is coming in.
Look, FI inflows remain strong, and even there may have been a dip last year. Overall, the Indian economy is a very strong story, and capital inflows remain. But when you look at longer-term investments, not just capital market inflows, but FDI investments, and things that when India, on the one hand, is going for $1 trillion spent on infrastructure, which requires a lot of PPP, public-private partnerships, there's going to be a very cautious look at the way deals that involve either clearance by the government or by the regulators pan out. And in this case, you can see both, where you've got the SEBI oversight on certain things, and the dismantling of call and put options that were there between Cairn Energy and Vedanta. And secondly, at the government level, where it's gone not only from a government but now to this group of ministers to look at it, which, in the history of dealing in India, a lot of people have looked at bureaucratic red tape and sort of things that slow down a transaction as being a bigger obstacle than the overall strength of Indian entrepreneurship. And that's really where the challenge lies here.
Leave it at that, Bundeep. Really appreciate you taking the time out today and joining us. Thanks so much for speaking to ET Now. Take a break on that note. Come back, talk about commodities, talk about the cues to watch out for tomorrow, more importantly, and give you a sense of what the corporates who spoke to ET Now had to say with regards to the company.